What's up guys, I got another pretty fun tutorial for you today. I'm working on this new loadout and it's kind of a sniper loadout, and hence I got this hat to keep a low profile. This hat here comes with tons of velcro, but most hats come with velcro. Something like that would work. Any pretty much tactical or camo hat will have some kind of velcro here for the patch. This one just has it sides, front and top. But something like this will work for our tutorial here. So basically what I'm trying to do is mount a GoPro onto the front of the camera. And I know GoPro has some kind of helmet or head strap mount, but I'm going to be using goggles and a lower face mask when I wear this hat. So I already have a bunch of straps going on, and I certainly don't want to add another one on top of the hat. So here's my plan. This is my GoPro as it is when I mount it to the helmet. It mounts to this, and from the NVG mount comes down, and this screw here actually kind of keeps it in place so it doesn't fold too far, and then I'm looking down at the ground. It helps me index the thing. So I've taken that off, put that aside, and of course you want to make sure you don't have the GoPro camera in there when you're doing this, because there's no reason. But I do have my case. Now here I have this simplified skeletonized back on it, and my GoPro came with two backs actually, so that works out nicely for this project. So I'm going to keep this as is because I need that for the helmet mount, and I'm going to focus on this backing, which I will use to get the GoPro onto the hat. So first I'm going to do is take this off, and it looks like you have to pull the pin out, but really you just snap it off. Boom. Put that aside, put that on, and you just reverse the process, snap it back in. So now here's my GoPro case with the new backing on. Now what I've already done here is put a piece of velcro on the back. It's double-sided sticky velcro. It comes the male and female parts, so whichever you need you could always match it. So I've just stuck this on here just for tests, and what I'm doing is gluing it onto the hat. Now as you can see, that's pointing up, and I did try to wear it and try to aim down the sides and do what I would normally do when I have the GoPro on, and it was just not aligned properly. So I need to tilt it forward. So for that I cut out this piece of wood, just a piece of triangle wood. I would recommend using something solid, not plywood or not any of that IKEA furniture stuff, because it'll just blow up on you, and especially if you try to screw into it or any of these finer parts, it'll just fall apart. Melamine, that's what it's called. So use a solid piece of wood, cut a triangle. This is a little difficult, so if you don't know your way around the chopping saw or miter saw, have somebody else do this for you. And just for test purposes, I've put a piece of velcro on the front and the back just so you could see the alignment. So in theory, this is how this would work. This would go here, and this would go here to the hat. So I've tested this setup, and it seems to align pretty well. It looks where I'm looking. So I'm happy with this angle cut. And if you're curious how wide it is, it's about 30 millimeters or 1.25 inches. So I like this look, but I want to do something more. I mean, this could work if that's all you wanted to do. It's a little flimsy. You could mount it this way so this doesn't get in the way. But the reason I'm putting this side down is because I want to go through the hat, cut two openings there, and then when it comes out through here, it'll be something like this, and I want to catch it on the other side with maybe just a zip tie or one of those twisty ties, just enough so the camera, if it velcros somehow, it doesn't fall off the hat completely. And it'll give it more left to right stability too, because it won't be able to pivot anymore. So what I'm going to do now is take this off and cut those two openings in the hat, and then I could dry fit it again and see if everything works the way I want it to. Alright, so here's the end result. I cut two holes here that correspond to this. I actually went a little too far on a couple of the cuts, so I broke some of the stitching that goes around here. I'm going to go back with the thread and needle and just patch it up here so this cannot spread anymore, probably all around here, and fix some of these that I cut. These have to be pretty wide. You can't just cut 2 slits, it doesn't fit. That was my first attempt. I had to match it pretty closely. So I found the center, and then I drew 2 lines corresponding to these 2, and I cut those 2 first. When that didn't fit, I started widening to match this closely. And it's okay to go a little wider, it'll be easier than to go too narrow. But here are the 2 cuts, and as you can see, the camera drops in there. And of course there's cuts on the bottom. And there's just enough of this opening coming through to where I could put a zip tie or something very small, maybe a little small zip tie or a twisty tie down here. And then of course I'll have this back here like so, and all I have to do is flip that back and boom, there's my mount, always lined up properly, very secure. Just putting this in here has made it very secure, and then combine that with the Velcro, this thing's going to be rock solid. And I think it looks pretty decent too. I really don't see much more than the camera and the hat. I'm going to go ahead and paint this this tan color to match everything, and I'm going to screw a couple screws through the back of this into here, and I'll probably even put a couple screws through the Velcro just so it cannot fall off. It's on there really good. I might not actually do that because too many screws could weaken the wood, and then if the wood cracks, then this whole thing's useless. So I'll be back. I'm going to paint this, patch this up, and attach this to here, and you'll see the final product. Alright you guys, well here's the finished product, everything assembled together. You can see I'm running just a nail here to keep it in place. This thing is rock solid. I mean, I don't think it's falling off under any normal circumstances. The Velcro's on really good, and this really locks it in place from any kind of left to right movement. It's looking exactly where you're looking. So let me take it apart so you can see kind of the parts that make it up. So I'll push this nail out first, and the camera pops off. Boom, there you go, you're back to your original parts. So I did some stitching here just to make sure this hat doesn't fall apart, especially where I cut it, and then I went around the holes and down the middle, so this should keep the fabric from moving. I'm not Martha Stewart, but I think that should work pretty well. On the case, let me open it up. Camera fits in there, no problem. I drilled 3 little holes here to connect this to the back of the case, and I added some Gorilla Glue as well. And then the Velcro was already glued on. I put 1 screw in there just for safety, but I don't foresee this coming off. If it does, I'll probably add more glue. I'm really liking this mount. If you're a skilled woodworker, I would add a curve in here to match the curvature of the hat ever so slightly. But a straight cut works pretty well. Be careful when cutting the hat. It'd be nice if I didn't cut through these original stitchings here that I had to replicate, because that keeps this whole bill from falling apart. And I would definitely recommend adding stitching around here. This is a really nice hat and it has a plastic bill. I don't know if regular hats, if all hats have that. For some reason I had the impression that they had a hard paper bill on some of them, but maybe that's some old school thing. So basically, you could use any hat. Something with Velcro already added would be better, but if not, you could use this stuff to add your own Velcro patch to correspond to this. And it's a pretty simple tutorial. I'm going to put all this stuff on and you'll see how it looks in a finished kit.